We got speakers for you guys today from Vulkkano, the A5 Arc bookcase speakers and the Sub8 subwoofer.
Namaste, we're DHRME. Damn, he's reviewing more electronics.
Okay, let's run down a couple of things that we liked about these products. First off, they look great in their colors. You can get them in brown and black. We got the bookcase speakers in brown and the subwoofer in black. Yeah, some of us know our colors. And we really like the design of these speakers. They've got that wood look and they've got metal feet underneath those speakers, which just gives a nice ambience to your home setup. And it does not look cheap whatsoever. They have a solid heft to the speakers as well. Overall, a nice addition to your media setup in your room. And I've used it with my projector via Bluetooth and there were no issues. And when the projector isn't projecting, the speakers in their place still look very nice. It doesn't look out of place. They look neat. And it's nice that you can use these speakers wired or via Bluetooth. And the Bluetooth has no lag, so there's no sync issues with your video and audio. Overall, the setup was super easy. The speakers and the sub have their own power source. And one of the bookcase speakers is kind of the master and the other is the slave. And the master has all the buttons and the dials, which you'll see in a bit, and the other one doesn't except for one port, and you connect both those speakers with one cable. That's it. And there's one cable that goes from that main bookcase speaker to the subwoofer. And that is it in terms of setup if you want to use them wireless via Bluetooth. Otherwise, there are three other cables, an aux to RCA, an RCA to RCA, and an optical cable all included in the box. Apart from that, you can also connect by USB and ARC, which is HDMI. We also like that there's an LED on the master speaker so you can tell which mode it's on. There's a different color per mode. The included remote is also great. You can use it to play, pause audio, change volume, and it has some EQ presets for movie, music, and dialogue. There's also a virtual bass button on the remote and it's actually quite nifty. If you don't opt for the subwoofer separately but you just have the bookcase speakers, then it definitely adds some low bass to the speakers. It doesn't add the lowest of low bass, but still respectable. Now there are a couple of things we didn't like about these speakers too. The Bluetooth pairing is sometimes janky. You need to put it into pairing mode a few times before you can find it in the Bluetooth device list. So it's not first time right all the time. The speaker grills are removable, but they're not magnetic. So if the plastic hooks were to break, then you're kind of screwed. And we personally like them with the grills off. And we did experience some volume sync issues. Starting a Netflix show will be very loud at the outset, and then when you reduce volume on the projector, it brings it down to the intended level. So this is a thing that happened on Bluetooth.
Now let's get to sound quality. The treble never really sounded bad, but we could never get it to sound really airy, even when we turned up the treble knob. There is decent bass, especially the mid bass, and the virtual bass button does a pretty passable job of adding some bass in case you don't have a subwoofer. Interestingly, for me, at least in the room we were in, and this is not a completely treated room, this is a room in which human beings live, difference between wired and wireless was minimal with a bit more detail when wired, especially in the treble. You get an SVC codec on Bluetooth and it was fine, just what you would expect. The sub bass also did a good job of adding punch, and you do have a frequency crossover knob just to kind of tune how much of the lower bass the sub bass should carry. So I think for movies and explosions and stuff like that, this sounds quite fantastic. And again, it depends on the room you're in, but for us, it sounded quite good. Now let's talk about price. The speakers themselves are $200. And I think the speakers here for me are the star of the show. They look good, they sound fine, they integrate into so many different kind of systems you can have. For a product like this, I think those are the things that are really important unless you're really an audiophile and you want the best sounding speakers. The subwoofer is also decent at $130. It is not small, so keep that in mind, but I would say if you want a nice pair of subwoofer and speakers for a reasonable price, these are some nice ones to consider. So what's the conclusion here? These are pretty good for the price, especially the speakers. I really enjoyed the options you get in terms of connectivity, and they sound decent, and you get two color options. They're pretty good looking. All these things matter, at least to us, when choosing speakers that are going to be part of your furniture. And subwoofer, I think they do a pretty good job, at least for music and stuff like that, and you have the ability to tune which frequencies they're covering. So overall, a good package here from Vulkkano. So as a budget option, I really can't ask for much more than this. Vulkkano did send out these products to us for review, but our channel is sponsored basically by you guys, all our YouTube members, patrons, watchers, likers, subscribers. Do that stuff down below. And a big shout out to our highest level supporters, the Fuckmuntier, Gamma Panda, and Paula. You've been watching us erupt into a new product category, and we've been DHRME. Do we?